The Expedition of Lewis and Clark by Adriana Megara. The expedition took place between August 31st, 1803 and September 26, 1806. They were sent to explore the Louisiana Purchase and the Pacific Northwest by Thomas Jefferson. He had obtained the 827,000 miles for $15 million from France. He sent a group of soldiers named the Corps of Discovery. It was a select group of U.S. Army and civilian volunteers under the command of Captain Meriwether Lewis and Lieutenant William Clark. Meriwether Lewis was born in 1774 in Virginia and graduated college in 1793. He joined the Virginia State Militia and then became the captain of the U.S. Army. He became Thomas Jefferson's personal secretary at the age of 27. William Clark was born in Virginia in 1710. He was in the Kentucky Militia and then the Army. He was commissioned by President George Washington as lieutenant of the infantry. 1796, he returned to manage his family estate, and then 7 years later he was asked by Lewis to join the expedition. Some items they chose to take with them on their trip included compasses, maps, telescopes, fishing equipment, weapons, medical supplies, and books. The expedition team included Lewis, Clark, 27 unmarried soldiers, a French Indian interpreter, the boat crew, and a slave owned by Clark named York. They started their journey in St. Louis, Missouri, and headed upstream on the Missouri River at about 15 miles per day. When coming in contact with the Native Americans, they would present a Jefferson Indian Peace Medal and offer military protection on their lands. Some natives were very kind and others were not. While in North Dakota, the team encountered the Mandan natives who were very kind. They decided to make camp for the winter. They built Fort Mandan, and the men stayed in good health that winter, bonding with the natives. While at Fort Mandan, Lewis and Clark met French-Canadian trapper Toussaint Charbonneau and hired him as an interpreter. His wife was Sacagawea. She was a Shoshone Indian and at the time pregnant. On February 11, 1805, she gave birth to a son and named him Jean-Baptiste. She was a respected translator for their trip. As they headed towards the Pacific, they crossed through Montana into the Continental Divide. Sacagawea spoke to a Shoshone to buy horses from and was also reunited with her brother, who hadn't seen her since she was a child. Traveling through Idaho, the team was experiencing harsh conditions and weather. They encountered the friendly tribe of Nez Perce Indians, who helped them back to health. They finally reached the Pacific in November of 1805. They stayed for the winter and built Fort Clatsop in Oregon. It was a rough winter, fighting bacterial infections, fleas, and hunger. As the snow melted and winter left, they began their journey home. They picked up their horses and encountered other natives on their way back. They dropped Sacagawea and her family off at the Mandan villages and headed for St. Louis. Lewis and Clark told Jefferson their stories from the journey. They successfully surveyed the Louisiana Territory from the Mississippi River to the Pacific Ocean. They also brought back immense information on the geography, plants, and animals of the area.